So today we are talking about effective communication. Okay, so we want to practice. There are exercises, and I need all of you to raise your hand or in the chat box answer the question. Okay. Um, and I don't want anybody to worry about their English. All of us here, we have accents. It's okay. And everybody is from a different country. Bina is from Nepal. Jin and Sharifa and Josiah are from Philippines. I'm from Iran. Letizia is from Italy. So we have four different accents here. Okay. And then as more people join, we have 8 people joining from India today. There we're gonna have an Indian accent. So it's like 5 different countries right now, right? So I want everybody to be confident. Raise your hand. It's okay. We can understand you. Just speak a little slower. Okay, great. So we speak clearly, listen deeply, ask with confidence, and say no with kindness. This is our plan for today. All right. First, let's look at our challenges. What are some of the challenges we all have in communication? Sometimes we have a hard time saying no. Sometimes we don't know how to give feedback to somebody else. Sometimes we don't even know how to tell them what we need or what we want. Okay, so we say something else. Sometimes we avoid difficult conversations, or we become quiet when somebody else is more confident than us, or we are worried about that accent. What if I use the wrong word? What if I don't use correct grammar? Or we say yes too fast, and then we feel frustrated. We're like, why did I say yes? Or we want to be really respectful and honest, but it doesn't come out that way. So I want to hear from some of you. What are the challenges you have in communication? Okay, it can be these or it can be anything else. Or in the chat box, you can say number 1 and number 3, or number 1 and number 5. So either in the chat box, type the number of these, the ones that you deal with, or unmute yourself and tell me which one do you deal with. I deal with all of them all the time. So it's me, 1 through 8.
Me too. I joined.
Number
I'm
6.
also-
Jean, I saw you unmuted yourself. Which one is yours?
Number 6 po.
Number 6. Oh, your accent. You speak so well. Come on, stop that. Sharifa says 1 and 7. That's good. That's very good. Anybody else? Bina, Josiah?
For me, it's number 7. Sometimes
No, you say yes too
I'm
fast.
too excited, and then I
Yes,
think, oh, maybe I should do things differently. So,
exactly.
yes.
Exactly. Me too. Me too. Josiah says 1 and 6. So saying no and worry about accent. Like it seems like we all worry about our accents.
Yeah.
Oh, Bina also says number 6. All of you who are here, I talked with you and I completely understand you. So nobody should say we have accent problem. So we have a slide about accent. You need to be patient. I made a slide for accent. Okay, great. Thank you everyone for sharing. So these are the common problems we all deal with all the time. Yes? Okay.
Yeah.
So why communication gets difficult? Most communication problems are not about language only. They are about fear, assumptions, and pressure. Okay, let's see. So let's see what kind of fear we experience. Fear of rejection. What if they are disappointed in me? Fear of conflict. What if they become upset? Right? What if my communication is not good, or whatever I say is not very clear or effective and they become upset? What if I'm being judged? What if I sound stupid? Like, what if I'm not good enough in communication? What if they don't understand me? Fear of being selfish. What if I'm asking too much? What if what I need is wrong? What if I should need less, more, right? Fear of losing control. What if the conversation goes badly? What if the result is not what I want? Maybe I should avoid the conversation. All that. So good communication help us slow down, organize our thoughts, and respond with intention instead of reacting fast with fear. Because we do that a lot of times, yes? Okay. So it would be very helpful when you're in communication, you take a deep breath, don't respond. Just say, let me think about it. I'll get back to you. Okay? Because we forget, we think, well, I have to reply so fast because they need my answer. So that's something we all can work on. Any questions? Anybody can relate to any of this? Fear of rejection, fear of conflict. Write in the chat box which one of these fear you relate to. Fear of rejection, fear of conflict, fear of being judged, fear of being selfish, or fear of losing control. Which one?
Fear of rejection.
Yes.
And fear of being.
Fear of disappointing too the other person.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's also very important. But
yes.
I believe that in order to overcome all those fears, we need to be very truthful with ourselves.
Yes.
And really check inside of us and make sure that when we decide something, it also resonates inside of us instead of being sometimes pleasers or doing things like fear for all these rejections, fear of rejection, conflict, judge, selfish, and control.
Yeah.
And I think it's so powerful
Mm-hmm.
to be very truthful
Mm-hmm.
and talk about it.
Exactly.
And it's okay. I think when we come up and we're so honest, I think that's very powerful.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Thank you. Sharifa says all of it, all the fears. I get you, Sharifa. That's I think that's everybody. That's something we constantly as humans every day we are working on it. So it's not like one day I say, okay, I got all of this. I understood all of this. I think this is something every day of our life we're going to be working on it. And we keep getting better and better, but it's a practice. It's a practice.
We're all humans. We're not perfect.
Yeah. And we just all need to be kind with each other because you're kind of dealing with the same thing over and over. Jean also says all of them. Bina says fear of losing control. Thank you. Thank you all for participating. Next, now we want to talk about solutions. Okay, we talked about our challenges in communication. Now let's talk solutions, okay? Solution number 1, being more curious, like interested, want to learn more, right? Rather than judging. So curiosity lowers defensiveness and opens the door to understanding. Instead of starting with judgment, we can start with questions, okay? Instead of responding fast, you can not respond and just ask a question. The question could be, can you help me understand what happened? Or what was your intention? Or what do you need from me right now? Or what would make this easier for you? Or can I share how I experienced it, right? All of this, the other person, if let's say somebody asked you to do a big project, right? And you are a student, you have homework, you have projects, you don't have time, and you still want to understand how you can help, right? But at the same time, you don't have time because you have so much other classes and homework and things to do. So then you can say, let me explain to you how is it for me? How's my experiences, right? Or how can I make this easier for you by telling you what is my schedule right now. So asking a question or trying to understand what's the commitment, how many hours a week. These are kind of make it easier for the other person to understand where you're coming from. So your communication becomes effective as a result of being curious and asking questions. Curiosity does not mean you agree with everything. It means you are willing to understand before you respond. Okay? So now let's look at solution number 2. Saying no with respect. Everybody said they have a hard time saying no. I see hello from Golshan. Hi Golshan, good morning. How are you? Okay, so saying no. Everybody raise your hand or your digital hand or say yes in the chat box if you have problem with saying no. Raise your hand. Yes.
And
Yes.
sometimes, yes.
Yes. Yes. So I see people are raising their hand. Yes. Thank you. So what is helpful? What's not helpful? Let's look at what is helpful first. So I'm on the right side of the table on the right. And feel free to take pictures of these tables. So whenever you have problems saying no, you can just go to this slide and look at the picture. So thank you for thinking of me, but I'm not able to do that. Okay? So you thank the other person. Let's say your friend says, come help me clean my house. You say, thank you for thinking of me, but I have other stuff to do. I can't make this on right now, but I can do it later. So you're saying, at this moment, I cannot help you, but maybe tomorrow. Or you can say, that does not work for me, but I hope it goes well. I hope you have fun in your party, but I cannot make it. Or I need to say no so I can honor my current commitments. So even though I really want to be there, but I have to say no because I have so much work to do at school and exams and all that. Or I'm helping my family. So now let's see what is less helpful. Maybe even things that we should avoid. First one, saying maybe when you really mean a no. Second one, over-explaining because you feel guilty that you said no. Third one, saying yes and later on becoming upset and resentful and angry. Last one, avoiding the person instead of responding. Okay? So in the chat box, tell me which ones do you do? Do you say maybe instead of saying no? Do you over-explain yourself? Do you say yes and then later you become angry or upset? Or you avoid the person, you don't even talk to them? Which one do you do? Or maybe you do the ones on the right-hand side. If you do the ones in the right-hand side, type right-hand side. Or unmute yourself and tell me which one do you do, which one you don't do, or you like to do. Anyone likes to share? Golshan, you just arrived. Do you want to tell us your opinion about, we're talking about saying no with respect? Anybody likes to unmute and share? You guys are very quiet today. I've only heard Jin and Josiah's voice. Bina, Sharifa, and Golshan, I want to hear your voice too.
For me, I would prefer to be on the right side.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's so, I think it's healthier to express my feelings than say something that I don't really mean it.
Mm-hmm. 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 Good. That's very good.
I think that's
Yeah.
because I think it's healthy to be it's not healthy to carry something and to become resentful and say yes and become resentful. And it's I think communication for me, it's very important to express my feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't go into that place of feeling resentful later.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll try if I can to avoid that place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Great. Thank you. Jean says right side. So Jean is doing all the right side of stuff. That's great. Anybody else? How about everybody else? Are you on right or left? Okay. We'll move on to the next solution. Solution number 3. Bina says she doesn't want to talk. Why not? Okay, so ask for what you want. So how do we make a strong request? Like if you have a request, how we make this? There are 4 parts to a strong request. First, you need to explain the situation. You cannot make a request without really explaining the situation, the context to the other person. Second, you need to say what you need. If you're making a request, it's part of communication. We're talking about effective communication. A big part of effective communication is being able to ask other people what you want, what you need, right? Make a request. So we are going through these 4 steps. Step 1, context. Step 2, what do you need? Step 3, be very specific. You cannot be generalizing like I want this huge thing. No, be very specific. And step 4, give it time. If you don't give it time, it makes it very difficult for the other person to deliver. Okay? So 4 things. Let's look at it as an example. Maybe it would be more clear in the example. I noticed we are missing the final event details. That's the context. Explain what's the situation. Step 2, your need. I need them so I can prepare the slides. Step 3, specific. Would you be willing to send the location, time, and the audience size by, then last step, Thursday morning, time frame. Okay? So all the 4 steps has to be if you are doing a very powerful request. So we want to practice writing a request. I want everybody here in the chat box, write 1 request you need to make this week. Even if it is from your mom, from your parents, from your siblings, brother, sister, from anybody around you, you want to make a request. Write it in the chat box. So let me do one more. Look at the example. Example is very helpful. You need to explain the situation, right? What's going on? Like for example, you want to ask your teacher to review your grade. Okay, you got a grade, you think your grade is not fair, and then you want your teacher to review it. So you say, I noticed that I'm missing some points in the previous exam. Okay, so that's the situation. Then you say, I need you to review this exam points for me again. So you say your need. Then specifically you say, it's question number 3, part B, that I think I could get 3 more points. Okay? And then with a time frame, you say, if you could do it by next week for me, I would really appreciate it. It would make a difference in my GPA or my final exam, right? So you'll be very specific, giving it time, say your needs and explain the context. Is that clear? I think this is very powerful. A lot of times we ask people for things and it never happens. Gulshan, you're getting disconnected. I couldn't hear you. Say it again.
Network issue. I cannot hear anything.
Oh, you cannot hear anything?
Network issue, so many problems
Oh, you have network problem.
to hear anything.
Okay. Can you hear me when I'm talking?
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, I can hear you.
you can hear me. Okay, great, great. Now your voice is really good. I can hear you well as well. I'm sorry you have network problem. Which city are you in?
Nepal, Bardibas.
Okay, okay, great. Thank you for joining. Okay, great. So, did everybody write down? Okay, great. So, Jean is saying, I noticed you didn't send the last topic, ma'am. I need it for tomorrow's quiz. Would you be willing to send it today so that I can study for tomorrow? Yes. Good job, Jean. Yes, good job. Good job. That was very good. Yes, good job. Okay, so keep writing your request in the chat box as you're working on it. Okay, now we want to look at feedback. How to effectively give feedback to others. It's very important, right? Because a lot of times we want to give feedback, but we don't do a very good job. So here are the 4 elements. Observation, right? Similar to the previous one, first you say what's going on, what's your observation, what are you seeing? Then the impact that you're getting as a result of what the other person is doing. Number 3, your request. Again, your request needs to be powerful by itself. And the support, how you can support the other person in the feedback you're giving them, okay? So let's look at the example. I noticed the report was sent after the deadline, right? So it's late. That's the observation. Then impact. The impact was that we could not prepare for the meeting. Then request. Next time, could you send it one day earlier? Okay. And then support. Is there anything you need from me to make that possible? Okay. How can I support you so that you become successful? And I think this is like very powerful. Okay. So,
And I would
yes.
like to say to add something. I I think it's very important when we give feedback that it comes from I statement, I, because if we use you, it can become a projection of ourselves into the other person. And that's why it's so important when we give feedbacks to always say, I feel this way, I noticed. And I prefer that you will do this, and my hope this will help for you. Something
And
like that. So
yeah, so as you mentioned, I statement, as you can see over here, I
yes,
noticed, and it
yeah,
says the impact was that we could not. So
yeah,
basically, it's constantly talking about my experience rather than talking about your experience. I think that's very powerful. Yes, I agree.
yeah. Instead of saying you didn't do this correct,
You were late.
you were
Yes.
late, and say I noticed that this wasn't done correctly. So the other person doesn't become defensive.
And a lot of times in real life, our emotions stop us from becoming effective. So, like, we know these 4 steps,
Yes.
but then at the moment, we forget the 4 steps and we're like, I'm angry and I'm upset and I have to do something about it. So that's kind of
The
another present.
majority of the people sometimes don't really use the I statement. We automatically go, you didn't do this. Why? Instead of
Yeah,
being more mindful with
exactly,
our
exactly.
communication.
Yeah, and that's something I think we should understand and give a space for everyone who might make this mistake, and maybe just ask them like, do you want to give me another feedback later? You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Any questions? I want to hear one person or all of you in the chat box write down a feedback. A feedback to someone. First, make the observation. I noticed that, for example, I want to give a feedback to one of my students who got a really bad grade. I say, I noticed your grade was lower than average. The impact is for the final. Oh, I see Jin has already one ready to go. Okay, let's look at Jin's. I noticed you weren't able to submit your part of the group project on time. The impact, great. The impact was that we had to rush. Our presentation wasn't complete. Perfect. Next time, could you send it one day before the deadline? Yes. And is there anything I can do to help you finish it? Perfect, Jean. Jean, have you taken communication courses? You're so good at this. I know.
She
Do
might
you,
have.
Jean, do you want to finish teaching this class? Like, I want you to be the instructor. Next time we're talking about communication skills, I want you to be the instructor. Can you do that? Okay. I cannot hear you, but you're doing great. Anybody else likes to write their feedback in the chat box? Good job, Jean. Yes, Bina, what's your question?
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
My 6 months have been completed and I have already completed all the quizzes. Could you please let me know what the next process is?
Yes, after this presentation, I'll tell you the process.
Okay.
Okay, but
Thank you, ma'am.
yes, you're welcome. Did you do this exercise?
Yes.
Yes, you did? Okay, I want you to read it for me.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so let me just first read Sharifa's. Gulshan is saying, I missed the last two meetings. Okay, all right, that's fine. Sharifa, I noticed that you often announce the tasks very late. The impact is that our other colleagues do not know what to do. Next time, could you inform us earlier? You could also tap me because I'm very willing to help. That's amazing. Good job, Sharifa. That's really good. Great job. Great. And Gulshan, so is this your first time joining or have you joined before? Okay. All right. I have to go look at my list. I don't remember. Um, I want to hear from you, Bina. Can you read your feedback without attacking? Bina, can you read your feedback? Okay, I'm gonna move on because I'm waiting. I don't want everybody to wait. Okay, next thing, introverts versus extroverts. Okay, both are great. In our society, unfortunately, we mostly value and reward extroverts. Extroverts are people who are out there, loud, talking, always, they're very, get energy from participating and talking. And then we have introverts on the other hand, they're more into thinking, they are more into reflection, they are not very outgoing. But in the society, most people are rewarding, and valuing and praising people who are extroverts, right? And then if you're quiet, you don't get rewarded as much. That's the difference between introverts and extroverts. Extroverts are the people to get energy from outside and other people. Introverts get energy from spending time alone with themselves, quiet in a place by themselves. So, first type in the chat box if you're an introvert or you're an extrovert. I'm interested to know. So now let's look at the strength of each group because their communication style is different, right? One group kind of communication by being in the room with everybody with tons of energy and loud and talking, and the other person is probably writing an email quietly in the room. So let's look. Introverted strength. They think deeply before speaking. They may notice details that other people might miss. They prefer everything written. They listen carefully and they reflect. They prefer communicating in smaller groups. And they can bring a very calm, thoughtful leadership. Okay? So Sharifa says she's in between. She's both introvert and extrovert. Okay. I want to hear, how about everybody else? Tell me if you're an introvert or extrovert. Okay, now let's look at the strength of an extrovert. Often think out loud and energize the room. May speak up quickly and start a conversation. Often build connection through discussion. May enjoy groups, brainstorming, and visibility. Can bring momentum and enthusiasm. Okay? So that's a different style of communication, being with others. All right. So Jean also says she's both extrovert and introvert. How about everybody else? Are you guys extrovert or introvert? How about you, Leticia?
I think I'm in between. I feel that they're both, I think it's being introvert and extrovert, I think they're both very important to have. It all depends. I think sometimes it's very important to reflect on certain situations and not to be so fast with answering. And then I feel that other times it's also the energy in the room is also very powerful. I think they're both very powerful. Being quiet because you are reflecting on something, and if you want to answer, it's very important to really be very mindful on how you answer. And then there are times that we want to be a little bit fun and energize the room and connect with people and be flexible, not so much into being introverted. So it all depends on the situation. Maybe I can say that I'm both. I think they're both important.
Both Sharifa and Jim said the same thing as you. They say It depends on the situation and the people we are around.
How about for you, Sarah?
Uh,
Yeah.
for me, I would say I'm more of an introvert,
Yes.
except when I walk on the stage and I need to share something, all of a sudden I become an extrovert. But as soon as I walk off the stage, I'm an
Yeah.
introvert again, and I need to be in a very quiet place to get energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
But
the opposite of you, Sarah.
yeah, exactly. That's how it works.
Yeah. We are the opposite attracts.
Yeah. Um, okay, so let's see. Bina, I saw your message. We are almost done. Wait till the presentation is finished, and then we can talk. Okay, communication tools for accent-friendly conversation. I promised you that we're going to talk about accent-friendly conversations because we all have accents here. And all of us are worried, what if other people don't understand us? Okay? So, for the speaker, for the person who's talking, slow down, like speak slower, pause between the main ideas, use simple words, especially when it's important, repeat the key message at the end, ask, does that make sense? Or what questions do you have? So if you am a speaker and I have an accent, I need to make sure my audience are understanding me. So I'm speaking slower and asking questions because I'm being responsible for my communication. So now, as the audience, if you want to be responsible for your communication, you don't pretend that you understood if you didn't. You can say, can you repeat the last part? Or let me make sure I understood. Or you focus on the message, not the accent. Or you ask, what's the meaning of that word? What's the meaning of that sentence? You ask questions, okay? So in a respectful environment, accents are not problems. They are part of people's stories. So our accent shows that we are so diverse from all over the planet, with coming from beautiful cultures. So it's not a negative, it's a positive. We need to be proud of it and keep it and have it and enjoy it and tell other people about our accent and our background and our culture and our history and our country and everything we are coming from. Okay? You need to be proud of it rather than being, shame of it. Okay,
And
last.
also, Sarah, having an accent is important because we speak more than one language, which is plus for us.
You understand more than one culture. You understand more than
culture and trying to learn and improve ourselves. So it's very positive to be able to speak another language and to have an accent.
And you can connect with more people as a result of having those different diverse backgrounds.
And instead of saying, oh, I didn't understand what she's saying, she has an accent and I cannot understand that person. And instead of being judgmental, like you say, it's very important to ask questions. I didn't understand you. Can you please repeat again? Please explain what do you mean with that sentence. So it's important to take responsibilities for ourselves too.
Yeah. Perfect. Yes, exactly. So this is the last slide, and then I'm going to explain some stuff that I wanted to explain. So this is an exercise we're going to do together, okay? Which everybody says, what is the one conversation you've been avoiding? The real fear underneath, if avoiding that conversation might be, one sentence I can use to begin with curiosity is, and one clear request I need to make is, one boundary or no I need to practice is. Okay? So we're going to do this exercise together. I want those of you who don't do it right now with us to take a picture of it, do it at home, and then email the answers to me. Okay, that's very important. I want to have that. So your participation in these online seminars are important, and that's how you mark being marked present, by participating. Just being here and not talking and not participating is not a full participation. Okay, so that's that. But to finish up, before we go to the exercise and do the exercise together, deadline is next week, Josiah, by next Saturday. One thing I want to finish with is that I shared in the first slides the requirement for a scholarship. I hope everybody took a picture of it, so that's how you can apply for a scholarship. And last thing was Bina. Bina shared that she participated in more than 6 online sessions. So when you finish the 9 quizzes online, so let me share this page with you guys. Remember this website? Okay. Remember I told you when you finish, you can become a part of Climb Your Everest organization facilitator team by finishing 6 online sessions and 9 quizzes. So you go to Climb Your Everest website /leader. I'm going to put it in the chat box so everybody can see it. So when you go to this website, there's an explanation of how you can become part of Climb Your Everest leadership team. Okay. So it explained here that you do have one in-person session with us when we come visit your country. Then you watch videos. To watch the videos, you click on Apply Now. When you click on Apply Now, it goes to a different website called Leadership. And then you start the course. You go through 9 different modules online, and each module at the end has 1 quiz. You finish the quiz and you choose 2 videos on each website. And then this way you finish the whole 9 modules, and then when you finish all the 9 modules, watch 2 videos. You choose 2 videos from each module and answer the questions in the quiz. Then you participate in 6 online sessions. And then the last step is you do a presentation. So Bina, the last step for you is that you need to do a presentation for me, presenting one of the topics you watched. And then after that, if you pass that presentation, you do a presentation in front of the whole class on a Saturday morning. And then you graduate and you become part of the facilitator team. Did I answer your questions?